I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. Blondie, call me. That means it's the Friday show, and it's a call-in show. This show has quickly become a favorite. That's right, a favorite of everyone. Everyone likes to call in show. More people. Let's bring Mr. Chris Shaffer. Chris, are you there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, there he is. Chris, we get I call them cards and letters, but we get emails constantly, and people are talking about how much they love the call-in show, right? Because, and I wouldn't have ever guessed this, right? But people are motivated by other people's stories and hearing that, oh my God, it's just a regular guy and they did it. And it works, right?
Yeah. And there's something to, Fridays, you always did like an expert show, right?
Yeah. And I still do those, right?
It's not to say that the three beautiful people we have on today with us aren't experts, but they're experts in their own story.
Right.
Right. And when you're somebody like Nina Teichel's Love Her to Death, right? You have your lens and maybe the thing you want to talk about, the book or the study that you're focused on. And it's not nitty gritty details. Does that make sense? We get real stories from people who have gone through it. That makes sense to me. I get it.
Yeah. So we've been doing it and people love it. So I'm going to continue to do it. Bottom line. Let's see. All right. So, Chris, I'm going to just start bringing people in, right? We're not going to hesitate here. Is Vic ready? I see Vic is waiting in the wings.
Vic is ready. He's in a different spot than he usually is, and that confused me.
Yeah. Different spot?
Yeah, it looks different. Yeah,
you're not outside this time.
That's true.
The last time we talked to you, or the last two times we talked to you, you were outside.
And Vic has a floral pattern behind him now. So he's
a work in progress, yes.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, we made all this. My wife and I did all this to here.
And you got the wainscoting. Is that wainscoting or is that a...
That is a wainscoting. And hey, Vinnie, for you from the show the other day, I got an early Christmas present.
Nice. Are you loving it?
I love that thing. Yeah, I got two of them. And I didn't tell my wife, of course. It's like, hey, I need to run that by her. Never did. So I put one in our bedroom. We have a big bed, put it behind the bed. And it's, going to be quiet. It's like, I'll tell her about it here eventually. And she goes to she gets out of the shower. She's doing her hair in the morning, or doing something. And all of a sudden, Jasper's like, oh. And he kicks up in a high gear because whatever it is she's putting in the hair, he kicks in. And she's very, we thought it was pretty good, natural products and everything. But it kicked into high gear to get all that out of the air.
I can tell you that's happened with, because now we have one in the bedroom, right?
Right.
And my wife she dries her hair way far away from, see, you and we don't have the drying of the hair problem.
That's right. It's about a 2 second issue.
Yeah. Just towel it off and you're done. And it's far away. And my wife doesn't put any, like, she doesn't spray stuff in her hair. She just turns on that hair dryer. That's kicking up shit. Hair dryers are sucking air in, and it's got all that crap in there. You ever look in your wife's hair dryer, like in that impeller part?
I try not to.
Oh, dude, it's like everything now that's being blown into your wife's face. These things are just germ things. So that thing is working because that computer is picking that up.
Yeah, it's pretty trade stuff, and it's a one room over too. So, and it's pretty big bathroom, pretty big bedroom. So I was concerned that it would get the whole house, but I think, I got this one here in the office, kind of like you. It's all a main level. It's all one level. So I think we got it covered.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of people have been buying them. Look, I told the guy, he gave me that $400 off, and he's continued it now past the holidays.
I've listened to that podcast, and by the end of the podcast, I'm like on the phone, and I'm like, if one's good, two's better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
you only get the $400 off, so often.
Yeah, look, that's $800 you save, and that's better than any other deal he had. And I was like, yeah, some of my people are going to like, and I'm glad you of all people. Now, folks, Vic and I, we have a past. In case some people might not know this, we went to Tulane together, right?
We did,
and we lived a couple of, and we didn't know each other. That's the crazy part.
I think we actually lived next door because we were both across from the Time Saver.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a time saver, and I would sit out there on my porch and with my 44. No, I'm lying. It was my 45 ACP, and it was two black women that worked in it, sweetest women in the world. And whenever they would get robbed, I would run down there and try to protect them as best I could. And they were getting robbed all the time.
Because every Saturday night at 8 o'clock was the robbery. About every Saturday night about midnight was the car crash of someone trying to come off South Claiborne onto Broadway at too high of a speed and crashing into the Midway.
Yeah, well, they would hit. Yeah, they had that high medium in the middle. What people have to realize, look, you guys saw New Orleans whenever Katrina happened, right? But what happens is because of the way that city is built, whenever there's a rain, like it rains every day at 2 o'clock, starting in the spring and goes on through the summer, the fall, the streets turn into a canal, about a half a foot canal, right? And then the water runs into these drainage things, and we have these incredible pumps over on North Broad, and it ships it out of the city behind the levees, and that's the way New Orleans clears out. It's a pump system because it's way below sea level, as you saw during Katrina, right? It's about 15 or 20 feet below sea level, or even more, I can't remember. But these streets are meant to handle water like it's a shallow river, right? But if you come around a curve and you hit one of those mediums, they're about a foot off the ground. They're meant to be that high, and it will take the undercarriage of a car right off. And it's one hell of a sound when they hit those things.
And that sound was not uncommon on most Fridays and Saturday nights. At least once you hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time, because of the way it was, it would pop the radiator, so you would see steam shooting out of the front of the car.
And Vinnie, you gotta face it. It wasn't necessarily the rain. It's more I think more alcohol than rain. Heavy alcohol flows through the streets than the rain.
Oh yeah, pretty much. God, man, that city. And believe it or not, Vic, I didn't even smoke.
Drink.
I didn't even drink back then. I still don't smoke. But I didn't even drink back then, like not one drink. And I was in New Orleans. Yeah.
That's a tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
I don't drink. We don't drink anymore. I don't drink anymore. But man, it's like that was a part of your society, part of your life. Going through Tulane.
It was. I mean, I tell this to people. We had bars on campus, and that, Vic, am I making that up?
You're not. In fact, the Navy building. Remember the Navy building with the big 14-inch gun out front? Yeah, we'd have the shipwreck party. We'd have these parties there. You'd have the full cast. I mean, this is the Navy. I can imagine the Navy today hosting like a big, drunken kegger. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It was crazy. I mean, what was that bar? There was 10 Lizzie's down the street, but going up a block, and it was right by, what was it called?
Now the Rat's Keller was in the Student Union. The boot was on campus, right? You can walk out of Sophie. We still called it Sophie Newcomb, that part of the college, before Sophie Newcomb became part of Tulane. And there was a bar. You walked out of class, and there's a bar right there. It was nuts. Right next to the Beta Brothers.
Yeah. Did you know that? Do you know why girls could not live in the sorority houses in New Orleans? Do you know that story? This is a true story.
There's some regulation. If you have more than 4 girls, it's considered a brothel.
That's exactly it. I don't know if it was 4 or 6. So 4 or 6 women could not live in the same building, unrelated. So in other words, if it's a mother, a grandmother, and 2 daughters, that's fine. Unrelated, they could not live in the same building. It was considered a brothel. So the fraternity brothers could all live up and down where we lived on Broadway, but the sorority girls could not live in the house. That's a fact.
That. Don't know when they got rid of that, but that was still a fact when we were there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know, that may be dating us a bit. Who knows? But I mean,
we called them brothels back then. Now they call it
brothels with no cover charge.
Yeah. So, Vic, tell us about it, man. What's going on today?
Yeah. Well, I think kind of since I talked to you last time, I'm kind of in a really good spot where I am, 195 to 200. I know that you say that's still a bit too high. My doc says don't take off anymore. And I wanted to ask you a couple of things. I know that you listened to your show last Friday. You were talking to some gal about a scale. So I have a Hume scale that kind of does that body composition thing. And you're talking about it. You get yourself measured on a DEXA. I wanted to kind of know your opinion on the Hume. The Hume says I've got like about 160 pounds of lean mass, about 27 pounds of fat, and the rest of it's all, the rest of it's, the minerals and, the other assorted stuff, which gives me it says about 15% body fat. So what's your impression of the Hume scale?
They're all about the same. They're all measuring based on an algorithm, right? And, for some people, it's never dead on accurate. They can't be balls on accurate, but with some people, they'll get pretty close, and those people will get on a DEXA scan and go, it's fair, it's 20% off, 15% off. And then other people, it's wildly crazy off. And there's no rhyme or reason to how and why, because those scales are basing. Chris and I looked it up at one time, right? Chris, can you come in the room real fast?
Yeah.
We looked it up one time. They use some kind of algorithm or they use some kind of average, right? Figure out how these things work.
Yeah, and they're using electric impedance mostly.
Is that not what does a DEXA do?
DEXA actually scans there's a thing that you lay there and it goes across your whole body. A DEXA scan is so accurate. It'll say you have this much bone, muscle, and fat in your right arm, and you have this much bone, muscle, and fat in your left arm.
That's what the Hume does. It gives you like the percentage and fat content. It's pretty consistent for arms, legs, torso.
Are you just standing on it and it's just sending a wave up, or what are you doing?
You're standing on it and you have like a little thing that you hold that has the electrodes in it, so it's going between your hands and your feet. Are the contact points?
That's the same thing. That's going to be slightly more accurate than just the ones you stand on, right? But if you ever want to know exactly what the numbers are, you got to go get a DEXA. And the body pod brings you a little closer. There's another one, Chris. What's the other one? The in body. Or something.
The in-body is what it used to be like the GNCs, it's the big one, that's been around for a while. But I think that's about the same technology that's in a Hume, the Hume scale, because you're doing the hand thing and then, measuring through the feet.
Vic, I would be interested in you finding a doctor in your area so we use you as like a test dummy.
Oh, get a DEXA scan?
Yeah, just go get a DEXA scan. We can see how close to Hume is to the DEXA scan. Come on, man.
I'll do that. Because Hume is insulting. It's like, hey, your arm muscles are normal, your leg muscles are normals, and your torso's low muscle. I'm like, I think you're a little bit off on that one. It's like, don't insult me here.
I'd like to know how accurate they are. All right, so here's the deal. We'll give you end of January. Where do you live, Vic? I can't remember.
Colorado Springs.
Okay, you could find one somewhere near you.
Oh, yeah.
In Colorado Springs. I'm a little jealous that you're in Colorado Springs, but
hey, ski season started, man. I expect you to look me up when you come out west to do a little mountain journey.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I have a couple of buddies that live in Salt Lake City, so might be passing through your area.
Yeah, second rate. Yeah, Summit County.
Wow.
Yeah, Vic, there's actually a bunch of places in Colorado Springs that do it. I'm seeing like $60 to $70. Yeah. Yeah,
I'll take a look at it. I'm sure there's all kinds of functional health places and all that kind of good stuff.
So what I want you to do is I want you to do the Hume then go get the DEXA, the same, like within an hour, and then come back home and do the Hume again, before, after, and we'll figure it out.
I'll send you the results on that.
Yeah, and we'll do a show on it, because I don't like to poo-poo anything. I like to get to the bottom of everything. So that's what we'll do.
Sure. All right, man. Be glad to be the guinea pig.
Yeah. And like I said,
we just turned Vic's call into him being a field reporter. I like it.
You gotta get Vic doing something. He gets bored. Look at him.
Yeah.
Over there just buying air scrubbers for every room in his house.
Yeah, you got to be pretty at the end of your list there to get the excitement off the air scrubber. Let me just do the ad right here since we have you on. The guy sent me one when I had him on. You know the story. He just sent me one. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even run it 24 hours a day. I didn't know you had. When I got up in the morning, I walked past it and hit it on. And then when I left my office that night, it would stay on all day. Click it off right after I checked my emails.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was my thing. It wasn't until I opened up my Concept 2 to clean it. And I was like, wait a minute, what happened here? There was complete change, right?
Right.
You can't make that stuff up. Mm-hmm. And by the way, it's not like the Jaspr was right up against the Concept 2. Mm-hmm. It's a good, let's call it 12 to 15 feet away. I can tell you this, it's 8 meters. It's 8. It's about 10, 15, about 12, 15 feet.
Okay.
It wasn't like right on top of it. Right. That's when I knew something special was going on. That's why I had the guy back on the show. Folks, if you want to be like Vic and me, and I think you do, you need to get a Jaspr, jaspr.co. Jaspr.co/Vinnie. Vic, how did you do it? Did you put the Vinnie at the end, or did you put it right there?
When I was checking out, took off the $400 a piece. So worked out really well.
Storm, right? It just came right off.
Came right off. Yeah, they were like 1,100 normal. Then came down to 7 something, some change. Yeah. So perfect.
And these units are worth it if you want clean air in your house all the time. And hell, why not? It's your health. Jaspr.co. Go be like Vic and get yourself one. Vic.
And lifetime warranty.
Yeah, it does have a life. Anything messes up, and mine is not messed up. My other one's brand new. And by the way, I just changed the filter in this one, and I have a brand new filter in the other one. You're going to love this company. Jaspr.co/Vinnie or Vinnie at checkout, and save a ton of money on Jaspr. Thank you for being my guinea pig, brother.
Yeah, man, happy to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinnie, so I did have the one thing I wanted to ask you about was as you know, I went from I think my high was about 290. So at any given time, it's 90 to 100 pounds. I ever got to 190. But part of that, I did. You ever heard of the 75 hard?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I did that twice. And the thing that I still do from that is daily 45-minute walk outside. I know you walk every day because you do your consults on your walk.
Yeah.
And so my question is, it's like between. So I do weight training 5 to 6 times a week. I'm doing the pull, push, legs, do the outside walk, try to do the zone 2, and then some heavier cardio. Which of those? Where does the zone 2 go in there? Because I don't have time for everything. Like if something has to give, what would you how would you rate that? Rate those 4 exercises or 4 ways of
this is a real Sophie's choice. But what I would do is if you got the walk in, like if you're doing the walk, the workout, you can forego the zone 2 that day. Because even though a walk is maybe where you live, if you're going uphill a little bit.
I take the dogs. I even got a ruck. I got a ruck. I guess if I have the ruck on, it'll keep me in zone 2. If I don't, it doesn't.
It might keep it, but I would not give up the walk. I would do that over just doing zone, because doing zone 1 is good also, right? Just getting out and walking is good. So I'm not saying give it up every time, but if you had to cut one out in that scenario, you want to do your weights because we ain't getting younger, right? You want to keep some muscle in your body, and you want to, I would keep the walking there. You want to get out and be on your feet.
Yeah, so, I mean, the weight's kind of a foregone thing. I get it. That's my 5:30 to 6:30 every morning, so it's not like I could be doing something else. But the other ones, the kind of a heavier cardio, the zone 2 and kind of the outside walk. I kind of go back and forth. But I agree with what you're saying. I like what you're saying there, because everybody's like, the zone 2, the Peter, you got to be in that zone, and just an outside walk doesn't do it. But then you don't want to do the heavier cardio if you haven't done the enough zone 2 for that week. Just as a matter of priority. But I appreciate your input on that one.
Yeah, and if you did it the other way, it's not that it's so bad. But if I had to choose one, that's just the way I would go.
Well, the outside walk is the being in the outdoors. And I have a beautiful park right by my house. It's got all the sandstone formations. Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Garden of the Gods. If you ever come to Colorado and you go, it's a national famous park. It has like these huge redstone rock formations from 500 million years ago that go up probably several hundred feet, and it runs along the whole front range. So very, very famous. But what's really cool is by my house, which is a couple miles north of there, you still have the same rock formations, but it's just in a city park.
Oh, cool!
You don't have all the tourists there.
That's always the good part, right? Not having tourists around, but yeah, you're getting the hard aerobic stuff in there. You're doing that kind of stuff. And by the way, it's not a hard and fast rule. If you feel like just doing some indoor spinning or rowing or something on any given day, just split it up.
It's not a problem in the summertime because I've got the bike ride, but this is Colorado, bike and ice. I'm 62.
You don't want to mess with that.
I'm not doing the bike and the snow thing.
No, don't mess with it. It's I used to do it in Mammoth. I'd bring my mountain bike up there and just lower the tire pressure and get a workout in. No, not worth it. I used to have
just one little slip
over there. Yeah, one slip, and when we go down now, you go down hard. It hurts more. We don't bounce the way we used to.
True.
So yeah, you're going to go down hard. Well, Vic, we have Kurt waiting in the wings, and also I see Brooke waiting in the wings. So good seeing you, buddy. If we don't talk, have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Happy New Year's, all of it. All of it.
You too, brother. Thanks.
Later, man.
Vinnie, always good to see Kurt or Vic. I don't know that we've seen that room before. It must be too cold for him to be sitting on his beautiful front porch or back.
Yeah, it's cold where I am, so it's got to be cold where he is. I'm guessing what it is, but I like what he did with that room. I like the wainscoting and with the floral pattern. I'm into that kind of stuff. So he's looking good over there. I see we have Kurt waiting in the wings. Let's bring him right up.
Kurt, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. I got to tell you, Kurt, you're I'm loving your. Is that do you have a hoodie on the back of like a flannel looking shirt? Is that a jacket?
It's underneath. This is a insulated North Face jacket here. It's pretty cold where I'm at right now.
Where are you?
Chicago.
I'm going to tell you what it looks like. That's the look they're using in the Hallmark movies nowadays, right? Kind of the checkered flannel shirt with like a hoodie type thing underneath. So, and you're about the age, you look like those guys in the Hallmark movies, right? You got the cool hair, you got a little scruff going on, that kind of thing. And
I do.
Time they're in Chicago. They're not filming in Chicago. They show the overlay of Chicago, and then they film it up in the summertime in Canada. And here's the crazy part. You could tell it's summertime, right? They got all these heavy clothes on. These actors are sweating their asses off. Yeah.
I don't envy them.
Yeah. But look, it's a tough job. I don't know how anyone. My wife has been an actor her entire life. I don't know how they do it. To be honest, it is not an easy job to act like someone else.
Yeah. Well, Vinnie, you don't know it, but we're best friends.
We are?
Just because how it works. If you're a fan of someone and their work, you feel close to them, but you don't know me. I've never been on the show.
Here's the thing. Like, do you feel like if we were neighbors, we'd be friends?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's and it kind of works like that because, look, I used to think when I was younger, living in New Orleans, like, I think Howie Mandel's a cool guy. And then we became like really close friends. It's like, oh, so I was right. Yeah, that doesn't sound stalkerish at all.
No, not at all.
No, a guy used to take me on his private plane places and stuff like that. It's like, who would ever thunk it when he was putting bombs on his head and blowing them up? I don't know if you
know those stories. I used to be a Adam Carolla listener, and that's where I found you. Yeah.
Adam's another guy. I didn't know Adam from Adam. It doesn't work when his name is Adam. You can't say that. But I didn't really know Adam. I mean, he took over for Howard Stern in LA at one point. So my radio was already on that channel. It was like, okay, they brought in another yuckster guy. And I remember one of my nephews was in LA visiting me, Mikey, and he goes, oh, that's Adam Carolla. I went, oh, how do you know this guy? And he goes, I used to watch The Man Show. And you see, my generation, we don't know anything about. How old are you, Kurt?
42.
My nephew's 42. So you guys grew up on The Man Show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And, guys like me, I know nothing about The Man Show, or Adam Carolla. And then all of a sudden, I'm a regular. I'm one of few guests I've been on over 100 times, according to his guy. He's got a history. The guy knows the history of the show. His name is
he's also from Chicago, I think.
Yeah, he's a good guy too. God, I've spoken to. Do you know the guy's name? I'm
blanking on it right now.
He's a really good guy. He uses his last name. He's an Italian kid. I've spoken to him several times.
Superfan Giovanni, Brooke.
Yeah. His name is we call him Gio. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
His name is something Giorgio, but I think his middle name is actually Giovanni, but he goes by Gio Giorgio. And but I have lifelong friends. I met Dr. Drew Pinsky. We always text and email and the whole thing. And
one of the best doctors to know.
Yeah, he is a really good doctor. I love Drew. He and his wife are very sweet people. Gina Grad became like a daughter to me. She's about your age, maybe a little younger, a little older. And she's doing well for herself. So, yeah, we do kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yep. And, how often I've talked about you to other people, that happens with, good friends.
Well, that's creepy, but
more so in the sense, how did you lose the weight, whatever, and then Vinnie Tortorich, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, my friend Vinnie, my imaginary friend. If he lived in the apartment next door, we'd hang out.
Yeah.
So tell me about it, Kurt. Tell us about your journey.
Well, so I was successful in kind of doing the calorie in, calorie out, get enough exercise, blah, blah, blah stuff in my 20s. And I had, then I happened to hear you on the Adam Carolla show. And after a couple times, I was like, maybe he doesn't sound that crazy. And at the time, so that was 2016. At the time, I was 180 pounds and I wasn't happy with that. I'm 6 foot. In high school, I think I was like 160 pounds or so. So I was at 180 and I was like, it'd be nice to lose 20 pounds, right? Maybe more. So I started slowly implementing NSNG and, like you always say, give it a couple weeks and already started seeing results at that point and stuck with it. I think I probably lost the 20 pounds. I'd say it took me, it's hard to remember now, but a year.
Yeah.
And then I set a goal where I wanted to have like definition in my abs.
Right.
Because my body type, that's pretty much the first place where I get fat is in the abdominal area. So NSNG, I was pretty good, pretty strict. And then I started to get even more strict, where what you were saying was just cut out the alcohol entirely. And then I lost another 5 pounds. Then, try avoided dairy for a while, lost another 5. I think that was the last little key that I cut out was no dairy.
Right.
And so then I got down to like 152, I think, at my lowest.
Oh, wow.
Didn't change my exercise whatsoever. It's all diet. And met the goal.
I love hearing that story. Now, most people look at it and go, okay, 6 feet, 180. This guy didn't have a problem yet. Right.
Right.
But I don't think people realize how hard it is when you I call it getting down to the quick. You cut it down quick. And, like people I've worked with that were 300 or 400 pounds and they're 6 feet tall. We'll give them your same height. We'll get them down to 190 and they get stuck there for a while.
Yep.
And, they'll, oh yeah, I really want to get down to 175 or 180. And they get stuck and they start talking about plateaus and set points and all this kind of, diet noise that you hear on the internet. It's like, no, just stick with it. You're at the, you've cut it down to the quick. Everything that happens now is going to be small increments, but you can't get lazy on it. Right.
Right.
You have to stay on top of it. And if you do, eventually you can look like an actor that can be in a Hallmark movie like Kurt over here. You just need yourself a flannel shirt and a hoodie and some sensible shoes.
It helps. Yeah.
Yeah. They all wear like pretty cool boots. Like, I think all the guys in the Hallmark movies they're getting ready to go for a hike or something. Because
Absolutely.
Yeah. They got hiking boots on, that kind of thing. Of course, I wore my hiking boots today because there was snow on the ground and nothing like some Gore-Tex. You know that you're living in Chicago.
Yep. Last weekend we got, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches, something like that.
What do you do in Chicago, man? What's the job?
Work for the family business. It's a little complicated. We make image capture cards that plug into computers and stuff like that.
All right. What does that mean? Image capture? What is that?
Well, so it also has a medical application. So it takes whatever the camera sees and turns it into a digital image, So like if it's hooked up to an X-ray machine, here's a good example. If you have ever been to the dentist where they have kind of like that 360-degree booth where they look at you.
Yeah.
We work with that company and they use our, it's a card that plugs into the PC that's in that whole unit, and they use our stuff actually.
Okay, Kurt, I'm in the 3rd grade. Tell me what your card does. You have a card. Obviously, it's a digital card. It's some kind of.
Yeah. So basically, there's the cable that you plug into it, and that's connected to the camera. Where in this case, it's attached to whatever the head, So then that head is going and doing its whole scan. So you get that full image of what's going on inside your mouth.
All right. So
ours is the interface, basically.
Is this like a chip I put in these cameras and everything else?
Bigger than that.
Big.
I have posters behind me.
Between the camera and your computer.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
So you plug the camera into the card and then the card into the computer.
Yeah.
So that you can get the image from the camera directly onto the computer.
Yeah.
You lost me a long time ago because
I knew I would, but
my computers have little tiny holes in them where I could just put little tiny things in.
Sure. We make one that those cables are a Thunderbolt cable. We make ones that work with that. too.
Uh,
No one would use our stuff to do like the podcast, for example, because there's
Yeah,
existing
so-
solutions like that.
Vinny, in your case, you're just recording from a regular camera. But if you were
Yeah.
trying to, like the example that might make sense to you, people who stream live, a lot of
Right.
times will have a slightly nicer camera than what you have, or like a
Sure.
studio camera. That won't work with a USB like yours does, unless you have a capture card, like what Kurt makes.
Yeah.
So if you had like a big TV broadcast camera, that wouldn't just plug into the computer. You'd need a capture card. in
so,
between.
Chris, why
There you
don't
go.
I have a better camera? Why am I messing around with this? Do I look good to you, Kurt, in this camera? I mean, I don't look good, but
The
what?
Yeah,
loaded
you look
question.
great. Yeah.
No, but like if you were trying to do really, really fancy stuff, you could get more of like a broadcast camera
Mm-hmm.
that has a bigger image sensor and transfers more data. In that case, you have to process it before it goes to the computer. I'm assuming that's what Kurt's doing because he's talking
Correct.
about like 3D mouth imaging. So the capture card does a little bit of processing on that before it goes to the computer for you to be able to look at.
Right. Nailed it, Chris.
Extra steps. But
10 minutes
for-
ago, listen, Chris, 10 minutes ago, Kurt and I were going to be hanging out. Now, never want to talk to this man again.
now Kurt and I are hanging out. We're just over here nerding
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
you guys can nerd out and be friends.
I don't talk about work that much, Vinny. So
Who's this guy, Kurt? I don't know. This guy talks about capture cards and Thunderbolt lightning and cables and, the book of Deuteronomy. I don't know. He's talking about all kinds of crap. Yeah. Nah, we'd probably hang out, Kurt. So if
Oh,
I come to Chicago, you
I'm
can
jealous that you went to shoot some skeet earlier today.
Do you shoot skeet? Do you do
Yeah.
any of shotgun sports?
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the course is like an hour and a half drive away, but it's a sporting clays that I prefer.
Yeah, I like sporting clays. I call it the comical version of skeet because, sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
On some of those Chandelle shots,
Yep.
oh my God, it's like, yeah. But, today, I didn't realize it when we got there, but it was a 50-shot deal because skeet the game is played, it's 100 shots. But it was an NSSA competition. It was a sanctioned competition. And it's like, no, it's just 50 shots. So first round, I shot a 24, I dropped one bird. So I was like, all right, I'll end up with a 49. And my club is a tough club. Just with our members, if you're not hitting 50, you forget about it.
Why'd you get up out of bed today?
Yeah, it's like, why even go, right? So, I was shooting, to get 50, so you can end up in a shoot off with someone else, and then, at least you can lose that with respect or win.
Yeah.
Right. So I dropped one in the first round, and I looked at the other field, and I saw this guy, James, from another club. It's like, James is going 50, so there's no way he's missing one. And then I saw my buddy Woods, and Woods was on that field. And Woods ain't gonna miss. But they finished before us, and Woods came over, and he goes, "How you doing?" I was like, "Well, at that point I had missed two more. This is the second round. I dropped two birds, back to back, and you know how I did it? I let my mind relax for 1 second. For 1 second, folks. If you're shooting free throws, or if you're trying to hit goals in soccer or doing anything, your brain cannot relax for 1 second. I let something about business. Chris knows where I let in because he and I were talking on the way there. I let this crap. We're working on something right now. It seeped in there for 30 seconds, Kurt. 30 seconds. I missed the next two shots. I ended up with a 47.
But it was, even at your age, it's a learning experience. You know what you did wrong.
Golf is, Tiger Woods was, just Tiger Woods. I mean, he was impervious until he became human, right? All of a sudden, he went through a tough time in his life, marriage and the whole thing. It was like, did this guy ever play golf before? We don't even know who he is anymore. right? And then he became Tiger Woods again. You cannot, in life, is diet and everything, Chris. Everything you, Kurt, I keep calling you Chris.
Yeah.
Everything you do in life, you got to be on it. And if you're not on it, I hate to quote the great movie Talladega Nights.
Oh, yes.
But if you're not first, you're last.
That's right.
Right?
You're gonna quote it right.
No, there's second place, Vinny, third place.
Yeah.
Heck, there's even fifth place.
But you might
Just
as well
keep quoting it.
Yeah. But if you're not first, you're last. Right?
If you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last. And I mean, that's the way life is. A horse trainer. Okay, I'm lying. William Shatner taught me this.
Right.
The great Captain Kirk. He knows more about horses than most horse trainers. I'm just telling you, the guy knows his stuff. And he said to me in his Captain Kirk way, and I can't do his voice, but he said, a horse is always learning something. It's up to us to make it something positive. I was like, wow, that's so true. I mean, you can, that's why some horses are great and some aren't, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dogs are the same way. Your dog is always picking up something. It's either positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. We're the same way with our own brain is either positive or negative, period. End of story. I don't make this stuff up, right?
And that's what, when you stick to the NSNG, it just takes that positive swing and you keep that momentum going.
But Kurt, you took it one step further. You lost the weight. You got down to a weight. You looked at your stomach and you went, you know what? Not good enough. I've always wanted to have these rock hard abs. So you went for it. Now you look like a supermodel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So good on you, man.
Thanks.
Good. I'd love to talk to you all night, but there's a hot woman named Brooke.
Yeah.
And we saved the best for last. So we're going to chat with her. Kurt, keep up the great work. Keep motivating people. It's not just about me. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm trying to get people like you to encourage other people. So keep up.
I try my best.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right.
Have a great holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, there you go. Chris, we have the last caller of the day, but certainly not the least. I'm talking about Miss Brooke. Brooke, are you ready to come up?
Give us that thumbs up in the camera if you're ready to come up.
No, she's saying yes.
There she is.
There
she is.
All right.
It was daylight when you first joined us.
Yeah.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
I'm also Eastern time, so.
Yeah.
And the purple light behind me, it looks like we're growing some weed, but
I was about to say,
it's for a lemon tree that we had to bring in.
Yeah, it looks weird over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. This is This is the only quiet place in my house. My husband and kids are all downstairs. He's making dinner, and I'm up here talking to you, and it's an honor and a privilege.
Oh, the honor and privilege is all mine. Where do you live, Brooke?
Louisville, Kentucky.
I lived in Versailles, Kentucky for a while.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of horses.
Yeah, right near
in Woodford Reserve.
Yeah, Woodford Reserve is right down the street. That Woodford was made. You got on that road to go to Louisville. You would go through Shelbyville and the whole thing. That's where the Woodford people were, right there. Yeah.
That's right.
All of that bourbon was from Kentucky. Yet you couldn't buy a drink on Sundays, which made no sense.
I know. It's frustrating.
Yeah. It's like we have these blue laws. You guys are getting everybody in the country drunk, but you can't buy a drink on Sunday. Good luck. You have to buy bourbon on a Saturday night. So,
well, now thanks to you, bourbon's one of the only things that I drink, really. In the summer, it's vodka and fresh squeezed lime juice on a weekend evening. And when it's colder out like this, it's bourbon.
That's what they call me, Vinnie Tortorich. Been turning people into alcoholics since the 1980s. Yeah.
No, I used to drink beer and wine too, though. But NSNG was kind of a stepwise process for me. I started it in 2017. My husband heard you on the Adam Carolla show, and he told me about you, and he sent me the PDF. And I mean, I thought it made total sense, but I thought one day, I'll do it one day,
Yeah.
one day when I'm not so busy, or just, that lifestyle is always going to be there. I'll do it one day. And then one evening, as I was making Mexican lasagna for my family, which has things in it that I don't eat anymore.
Mexican lasagna?
Yeah. It was just a recipe that I found online. And like for the noodles, it's like spinach tortillas. And there's corn in it and black beans and like stuff I don't eat anymore.
Sounds kind of good, but very
costly. It is. I mean, it's good, but it's got unsupportive things in it. So I was making that and I was like, why someday? Why the heck not now? And so I just stopped eating all that stuff. And I mean, stepwise, it was during the week at first. And then on the weekends, it was pizza and beer.
Yeah.
And then I thought, and I was feeling better, much more mental clarity, greater energy, better focus. And like my hunger cues got quieter.
Right. Yeah.
I distinctly remember the days, and my daughter, who's 11, actually remembers these days fondly, when she and I used to have oatmeal and chocolate milk for breakfast and raging hunger 2 hours later.
Wait, so you wouldn't put the chocolate milk in your oatmeal? Please tell me you drank it.
No. Yeah. Well, and you got to put sugar and butter in the oatmeal because plain oatmeal sucks.
Right. Of course. Right. So did you have a weight problem, or you don't look like a woman who has a weight problem at all?
No. And I never did. I've had a long journey with health, actually. In high school, I was, let's call it chubbier than I would have liked to have been. Like freshman and sophomore year, I think, like 8th grade, freshman and sophomore year, I was like a little heavier than I would have liked to have been. I'm 5'1.5". So I was like 115, 117, something like that. I've never been over a size 6, but
No.
I didn't think I looked good. I didn't feel good. And so then I went, like about junior year, I decided to lose weight. I consumed Fitness magazine. And of course they were saying bacon and eggs was bad and all this. And
what year was that? When you were in high school?
When I started my, weight loss journey, it was like 2001.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were still kind of in the 90s, kind of low fat makes you fat paradigm. Maybe coming out of that a little bit, but we were still there basically. And
it was
and
still
I thought
there. It was there back in 2010 when I took to the computer and started writing my book. And everybody was saying fat makes you fat. I was like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Hang on just a second, folks. Villa Capelli. You want to talk about a good fat? We're talking olive oil. Villa Capelli is the best olive oil on the planet. You want Villa Capelli in your body. People always ask me, I own a supplement company. They go, which other supplements do you take besides what you sell at Pure Vitamin Club? And I always say olive oil. And they'll go, no, but like a supplement. It's like, you can use olive oil like any other supplement. This stuff is good for you. It's great for your body. It's kind of like taking omega-3. That's another oil. Olive oil has all the flavonoids, everything you want in it. You need Villa Capelli. You want to save 10%? Put in promo code Vinnie. Promo code Vinnie will save you 10% every time. VINNIE. No wimpy Y. Let them know we sent you. Villa Capelli olive oil. We're talking to Ms. Brooke, who back in 2001, she was still worried about fat making her fat. Yet she wasn't really a fat person. You were one of those people that I'm guessing, did you have any body dysmorphia? Were you that person?
Yeah, that's where I was about to go with that. I So I went severe with it, basically. I intentionally ate at a calorie deficit, intentionally overexercised, and avoided fat like the plague. And I would even brag at dinner with my family about having only half a fat gram that
Wow.
day, the entire day. And so then, of course, I wasn't eating meat. The closest thing I came to meat was crab delights in a whole wheat
What the
pita,
hell
of
is
course,
that?
with no mayo.
What's
Oh,
a
crab
crab?
delights.
Yeah.
It's imitation crab meat.
Where did you get that? You're a kid. Where does that show up?
I would go grocery shopping with my mom.
And this was in a grocery store.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this food before in my life. I know that they do fake crab,
Yeah.
right? I'm familiar with the fake crab, but you can walk in a grocery store and buy crab. It's called Crab Delight.
Crab delights. Yeah.
Wow. So is it actually fish? Chris, look it up. Don't put it up on the screen, Chris, but look it up and tell me what's in crab.
Wait, Brooke, are you talking about like crab rangoon, like pre-frozen crab wrapped in like a dough?
No, this was packaged, and yeah, it's mostly whitefish.
Okay,
So
so it's just imitation crab.
Yeah, it's imitation crab.
Okay.
But that's where the half a gram of fat came from.
But is it Chris? Is it imitation fish or is it real fish dressed up like crab? What are they doing? How does it get there?
It's fish
Ingredients.
dressed up as crab. They add flavoring
Yes.
to it.
Alaska pollock, water, potato starch, cornstarch, sugar, and sorbitol. Egg whites. Contains 2% or less of no crab meat. Wine, potassium chloride, salt, artificial crab flavoring, because apparently 2% of crab meat is not enough crab flavor. And then a whole bunch of things that I'm not going to attempt to read on the air because they're all more than 4 syllables.
And Brooke was proud that she only had a half a gram of fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that she's upright right now is pretty amazing.
I lost my period. So I was aiming to lose like 10 pounds, but I lost 15 more. And I felt super weak. I was in a bad place mentally. I would try to preach to my parents because they were both overweight, and I think part of it was I was in a bad place mentally. I was trying to get them to be like me, and I think it's because I wasn't happy, to be honest. I was like, other people need to be getting healthier like I am, and but yeah, I lost my period. I didn't have my period for over a year, and then when I went away to college, it's much harder to do that, to have total and complete control over what you're eating, especially when you're on the campus meal plan and you don't have a car. So I essentially just had to get over it. Integrated, more calories back into my diet and meat, and I felt better. And then later on became a runner. I'm going a little bit shorter with it. I became a runner after gaining weight after a bad breakup senior year of college.
That all tracks.
Yeah. I distinctly remember eating a whole bag of Rolos alone in my apartment senior year at 2 a.m. after coming
I
home from the
remember
bars.
the Rolos. God, I don't think I've had a Rolo since college. That's the one that's got like caramel in the middle, right? It's like chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
my
so
God.
good, but I don't want them anymore. I don't even want them.
Yeah, they will give you a stomach ache like no other candy, but boy, are they good when they're going down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the stomach ache.
But yeah.
Yeah. God, I was such a
Yeah,
sugar.
so I gained weight back, that was emotional, I think, weight, and then took up running after college, and but then was a little bit compulsive about that. Would feel less than if I didn't get a run in, and anyway, I wanted my relationship with food to be easy. It was never easy until NSNG. So,
Yeah.
it was more about the relationship with food. And now I have a super peaceful relationship with food. And I'm not trying to preach to others. Like, I don't care what other people do. And I think it's because I'm so happy and satisfied with where I am. And I am now a certified primal health coach.
Good.
So,
Good. So keep preaching to folks. And
Yeah.
by the way, you know, when you were a kid, you lost your period and all that. Now you mentioned you have kids upstairs and the whole thing. Obviously, you got your period back, and you're a healthy woman. You're obviously a gorgeous woman.
Thank you.
Sitting here looking at you, and you know, it's amazing how. And I worry for kids, not just girls, but boys and everything. When you're growing up, you have this vision of yourself, and man, I think about it all the time. I don't know how I would have made it in today's world with the internet and everything, because, you know, I don't know if you've ever read my book, but I had a tough time as a kid. I didn't really enjoy, you know, I was beat up on because of a speech impediment. And, you know, it just, once shit starts rolling downhill, it just gets, you know, it just picks up speed.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you saw what you were doing and you were able to, you know, pull yourself out of a nosedive. You know how easy it is for, you know, a girl like the younger Brooke to become, you know, an anorexic or bulimic and anorexic or just bulimic or any of the other things that could have happened to you that could have been a lifelong spiral. And man, power to you, Brooke. Really power to you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're out there and you're helping people with primal type things and, you know, that kind of eating, which is, it's NSNG. It's just a different thing, right? We're all preaching the same thing. And I'm glad when people do that.
One of my first clients, actually, she worked with me just to kind of help me out because I was a new coach, and she didn't even really have a weight loss goal. She just wanted to, she was more of the prevention mentality. She just wanted to continue to stay active into old age. And so she's been doing this, you know, this lifestyle for for a year. And she texted me her, the results of her like kidney functioning. She came to me with stage 3 chronic kidney disease, and her kidney function is now nearly back to normal.
Wow. Well, good for her, and congratulations for being able to help people like that.
Yeah.
We'll make that the final word. Brooke, thanks for being on today. Folks, there she goes, Brooke, who's saving lives. She's out there.
Thank you so much, Vinnie.
And she's saving other people's lives. Chris, what an awesome show today. Really, really. This was great. I love these people. I love to. Can we do more of these call-in shows, Chris? Because I'm loving these.
As long as people want them, we can do them.
Good. Let's set up some more. I want to thank Mr. Chris Shaffer, Vic, my buddy from Tulane, Kurt, and my new girlfriend, Brooke. Yeah. I want to thank them all for being on the show today. And, you know, I think Kurt and I would be friends if I lived in Chicago. We'd probably hang out. But, you know, you don't want to stand too close to a good looking guy because then, you know, you look a lot less. So I don't know. Maybe
You just need a hoodie and a nice button up North Face jacket, and you could look just like
I got some flannel shirts over here. I could give Kurt a run for his money. I just need a hoodie. And yeah,
we can fix that problem for you real fast.
Yeah, I'll get myself a hoodie and I'll get all done up. On behalf of Chris and Vic and Kurt and Brooke, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living